What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I close out my budget at the end of every single month. So it's really much easier than it seems. I mean, now that I'm doing the paycheck to paycheck budget on a weekly basis, I like this extra added source of checks and balances. But typically, basically all that I do is I check to see what my bank account balance is before my income starts to roll in at midnight from my nursing job. Now, some sources of income will actually shoot money throughout the week into my account. This week, I did not have to worry about that. The income that starts for February will basically start to come in today. But this was my balance the last time that I checked, so after I finished all of my spending and everything. But there are a couple of things I have to take out. So basically, I had to take out $3 because this commission here, I send $61.91, and the extra $3 for the actual transaction fee has not come out yet. So because that's already accounted for in the budget, I have to take it out of this balance so that I can see what I need to send off to balance myself back out to $4,000 to start the month. The other thing is I need to subtract $50 as well, because basically when I had to send off a certain thing for this $2,500 thing that I'm saving up for, I sent $150 to myself from that pool of money, but I only needed $100 at the time. So I went ahead and I sent $50 back, and I'm just going to keep that in my checking at Ally so that when that person is ready for me to send them that, I can send it off to them. So if we do this, then that means that my balance actually ended at $5,609.08, and you guys know that I like to balance myself back down to $4,000. This is what's considered my zero base budget, I guess you could say. So that means that I needed to send off $1,609.08. So this is my way of checking it, doing the checking and balance for that particular thing, and just making sure that I close out the budget the correct way. Hey you guys, so I wanted to put this part like kind of abruptly into the video because as I was looking at the playback before I actually upload this video tomorrow, it'll probably come out, or the next day, I realized that there was one piece of information that was missing. So a lot of the different parts of my budgeting I don't show on YouTube, mainly because it's just a lot of checks and balances basically. And so again, just for the sake of fluidity and showing you guys that budgeting is not 100% accurate all the time, I want to show you guys kind of this other way that I check, because this particular month I did have an issue where I could not figure out why my numbers were not working out. So as I've explained to you guys in a bunch of videos, I was never on an every dollar budget or a zero base budget as I was getting out of debt. Now that I've gotten to the point, a couple of months after paying off all of my debt, I got to the point where, okay, I'm having enough surplus in my budget to where I want to always reset my account down to $4,000, which for some people is zero, like a zero base budget, or $200 or $20, whatever their buffer is that they try to keep in their account. Because of that, I am now on a zero base budget, right? So even before then, I would still do it the same way. It's just I wouldn't send that extra money off to savings to get me back down to $4,000. So my checks and balances are still the same way, regardless if I was on the zero base budget as I am now or when I wasn't. So this is what basically happened. My January income was $8,952.19. And I'm going to flip this screen up here just to make sure you guys can see. All right. Now, my fixed expenses, if I take the $1975.14 that I budgeted, take out the $112.71 that I thought my car insurance would be, and it was actually $120.36. So the fixed expenses were $1,982.79. So this checks and balances is just to make sure that my numbers are all working out, right? Because the last thing you want to do is not close out your budget at the end of the month the correct way. And now from here on out, until you realize that your budget is wrong, like you won't figure out exactly where your numbers went wrong, basically. So that's minus the fixed expenses. And this is probably going to be sloppier than what you guys typically see me do. Now, my variable expenses, this is the part where everything was off. So $24.54.99 was my budget for the variable expenses, and I ended up with this much left, but I was missing an expense in my expense tracker. So what I thought was, okay, I spent $1,859.96 on variable. So now let's go ahead and subtract. That leaves me with $5,109.44. Now in the first week, I sent $273.96 to my savings. And this is literally what I do, but again, this part is typically what I do off camera. So as I'm like getting ready for the sinking funds updates and the budget report or budget results, like the month-end budget results, as I'm getting ready for those videos, this is what I'm doing off camera to make sure my numbers work, to make sure I'm giving you the right numbers, right? But then sometimes, like in the sinking funds update, which if you missed that video, I'll link that up in the eye in the sky, my numbers were off, but I didn't realize until I did the checks and balances for what my actual balances were in my account and what I had on paper. So like what I contributed was right, but my starting balances were wrong, which made my ending balances wrong. And I'm like, where's this extra $1,000 at, basically, right? So week 2, I sent $1,037.84 to savings. Now, with me doing the paycheck to paycheck budgets, because I did not used to do that off camera. Before I started doing it on camera, I didn't do it off camera. So before then, you know, I have a specific place in my budget planner, which you guys will start seeing from here on out. But this is where I determine where I'm going to allocate my income. And so I do write there how much I'm sending to savings before I actually send it. So there are different places that I write everything down. But again, I like to do this at the end. So even though I didn't do the paycheck to paycheck budgets the way you guys see it, I did it in this one particular part of my planner. I keep wanting to say calendar. I did it in that one particular place where I do my allocations, and that was it. So week 4, I sent this amount, $1620.91. Here was the problem. So now that I zero out at the end of every month, because I have such a surplus. Now before I became debt free, what I would basically do, because I was sending so much money to debt, so much money to savings, typically what I would have left over was probably like $400 or something. And I would just let that accumulate in my account. So every month when I would have a surplus, it would just continue accumulating in my account. But because I was so intense with debt payoff, I don't believe my checking account ever went above like $2,000, right? Anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000. So this is where the problem came. What my actual was left over at the end of the month to zero me back out to $4,000 in my checking account was this. So at this point, I'm like, yo, what? Let me see. 160908. I'm like, 1183. Where is this off? So I literally went through my expense tracker. I'm dotting everything, making sure everything is in there. And I'm like, I don't know where this extra expense comes out of, right? I'm going through my bank account, combing through my bank account. Well, at some point, as I was going through from beginning to end, I seen this number right here. And I said, ooh, there's obviously, because I always order the same thing from this place when I go. So I'm like, there's obviously another one of these expenses that I'm missing somewhere up in here, right? And come to find out, it was on the 30th, and I actually remember I went to 2 different restaurants before I went to work, and that's what was missing, right? So then, once I subtracted that from here, of course I end up getting this, and now everything is fluid. So at this point, now my budget is completely closed off. But without doing this particular portion, even if you're not somebody that zeroes all the way out, what would basically happen is, okay, I know that my ending balance in my bank account should be this, or should be this plus whatever my beginning balance was, right? So let's say my beginning balance at the beginning of the month was $200. That means whatever this left over plus this $200, my account, before anything extra starts coming in and going out to start the new budget, should be this, right? And so that is how I close out my budget at the end of every month. So continue watching the rest of this video to figure out the other parts of how I close everything out. So because I do the same thing from week to week and doing the projected and actual, this should be actually pretty easy. So my actual beginning balance was definitely $5,063.95, and the income was $2,346.78, which means that we started at $7,410.73 before anything got taken away. Now let's get up here. So this week, as far as my budgeted expenses go, I spent, what was it? I think it's on this other paper. This is like my 4th video recording for you guys today, okay? So I spent $562.82, but part of that was the travel. So that means that I actually spent $184.84, and if we subtract $375, that means I was under budget $190.16. Then the travel ended up being $377.98. So I was over budget by $2.98. Everything else in this portion was correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what the total was supposed to be, but I was under budget by this amount. Then I was over budget by that amount. So my actual total for variable expenses was $627.73. This part here was correct. So we're going to go down here. Our fixed expenses did end up being $32.98. Our variable expenses ended up being $627.73. And we did send this amount off to savings. And I do have my blue pen. So I did send off this amount. So if we do $7,410.73 minus the $32.98 minus the $627.73 minus the $1140.94, that leaves us with a balance of $5,609.08, which is exactly what I wrote down. So that means that we sent $1609.08 as extra, right? So remember when I did, and if you haven't checked out the video, I'll link it up in the eye in the sky, but when I did this week 4 paycheck to paycheck budget, essentially what I did, and let me change this date, this is supposed to be 1/31. Essentially what I did was I said, all right, well, if I end at $5,421.90, that means $1,421.90 will be sent off. But guess what? We ended up with more money than we were supposed to, so we ended up sending more. So what I'm going to do, the $1609.08, I'm going to subtract the $1,421.90, which means that we essentially sent more. So it's going to be opposite of what these colors are. So I'm just gonna put 187.18. That's how much extra I sent, which means that we sent off a total of $2,750.02 to savings this particular week. I don't even want to do the remaining part. It's pointless. Okay, so this is how I close everything off. I'm really excited, you guys, because if I'm not mistaken, I saved over $4,000 this month. Did I just say 4,000 or 5,000? I don't know. I'm tired, but I believe I sent more than $5,000 this month, because when I did this, if I ended up saving just this amount, it would have been like $49.10, and we saved more than the extra $90. So I'm pretty sure. I don't know what order this video is going to come out with my sinking funds update, but if you have not checked out my sinking funds update and it's on this channel by now, by the time this video comes out, check that out, because I'm pretty sure I saved more than $5,000 this month, which if I did, that would be bomb for me. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Please thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't already, but other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.